you peeps, this is Edo here for another Let's Play of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Here with me is Nightshade.
What happened?
A lot happened apparently in our last episode. And, yeah. There was an uproar. We found out about forged evidence. We found out about a lot of things. Marshall pretending to be Detective Goodman, Meekins being Meekins, the Blue Badger getting in the way of a bloody print.
Blue Badger being the true preserver of justice.
Stupid Blue Badger. And yeah, so
I don't mess with the Badgers.
A lot of things happened, so we are now continuing, so let's save, because saving's good. Oh, we're back at my
That
place.
was a weird transition. February 24, 3:12 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices after a hopefully good lunch.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I have wafers in my mouth.
I mean, they were lunching, obviously.
Sorry, guys. I gotta eat something while I'm doing these recordings, you know. I gotta eat.
Life's a buffet, kid, and I gotta eat.
I'm sorry for what my sister said. Oh, the drastic crimes require drastic. This is what happened.
Oh, now you're gonna have to censor that one.
Dude, it's not like I even get monetized for these videos anyways.
Are you lowering your standards now after these many cases?
I haven't had monetization for like over a year now, so it doesn't even matter. I didn't know.
That's my line.
I never knew that this SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings, but me. Yeah, why is that, Phoenix? Did you like not?
As if this.
You would think that. Well, and I'm actually.
As if this story was integrated after the trilogy.
I'm actually curious because it's been okay. So it's been what? It's been a year after the Phoenix Wright game, right?
No.
How long?
It's been nearly a few months. But
Oh, it's only been a few months.
Because it happened in December, they all say it's last year.
Okay, so it happened just a few months.
So like it's February right now.
SL...
This happened Christmas, so that was literally 3 months ago.
So the SL9 incident, the SL9 incident though happened the year before.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So
that was before Phoenix got his badge.
Yeah, it was before. So what I'm very curious about is when he got his job as an attorney, when he finally got his attorney badge, I was like, do you think that this would have been a file that he would actually be told about? It's like in all honesty, would he really be told about this? Like, if it was something that didn't have to deal with him, and if it wasn't a big enough case to be noticed, then, you know what I mean? Like,
well, two things. One, it was a serial murder case, so I'm pretty sure it made the news everywhere.
Yeah.
And two, I think we already established at the beginning of this game that Phoenix was not really paying attention to what was around him.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just kind of, it's so hard to say, like, if it was something that he just didn't happen to be there at the time, so it doesn't really, you know, pertain to him because he wasn't there at the time, you know?
Alternately, this story was written after the first trilogy.
You know, we're thinking he's still studying and whatnot, right? That's, you know, if you're going 2 years back, he was probably still in law school and still getting
I mean, when was...
Didn't make you think. The law school would have been informative enough to say that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what...
It's complicated, especially more messed up considering future games. So you know what? Let's just put this on the shelf for a few years.
Fine. This is me wanting to go overhead on things. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all here in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
So that means you...
Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Dart trial.
I didn't see that one coming. I guess we're talking.
Dun dun dun.
Let's go.
It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Joe Dark.
It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Dart tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture?
I don't remember the moment when Dart stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edward used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edward, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could just testify properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edward really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred?
Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Anna was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma. You've been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago, you must have been 14. It's understandable.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I wanted to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime.
Something puzzling?
There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
And it's not Tetris Attack.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective? I'd better have another talk with her.
Uh-oh. Now what? I guess we gotta go to the the detention center.
We can go to the detective center. We're not sure this is where you want to go. February 24, detention center, visitor's room.
I have a feeling I'm gonna do a lot of talking. So, 1 second. Let me just open this up and just take a good swig.
Refreshing.
All right. Let's continue.
Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we?
But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about that unusual change of jobs.
Which, will have required a lot more than just a transfer. I'll probably need some additional learnings, a little bit of formations, a new degree.
A new degree, right? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Do I? A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen. I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be.
That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth.
It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness in the Star said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us?
Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant? Then he was the vice head of criminal affairs, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be.
They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
And you too could witness this in this hot new series available on
Oh
HBO.
my god, no. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was
to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could later use that experience in court.
Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial in its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Oops, I went too far.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
Second in command? That means the chief detective was, no doubt, Damon Gant?
Yes, Detective Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations.
They even had the same office?
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gun-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when the last murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark.
You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us.
Ooh.
Detective Gant and Prosecutor Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages when Dark must have panicked. He waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Detective Gant and myself.
That's where he found me.
So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana?
It appears so.
I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seemed Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do?
To be honest, I panicked.
I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence. I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he changed completely.
I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark.
Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder.
We're gonna go.
Let's move. How do I get there? I have to go back to me. And then... No, police department. Oh.
Gotta get into the department if you want to get inside to get to the chief. February 24, police department entrance.
Uh-oh.
Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera sera. You never know where life's will lead you, eh, Bambina? Should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy?
Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed?
Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
But, Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one.
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened?
Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today.
Here we go.
Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so.
What do you mean, fishy?
Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip?
That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained.
What does that mean?
It means there is a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased.
Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence?
That case left behind scars on all of us.
The scars at the SL9 incident left behind.
I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around.
I wouldn't say he doesn't have the looks. He kind of looks like he's got the looks.
I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he, your brother?
He was 27 at the time.
27.
He was awarded the highest honor that very day.
The highest honor? You don't mean...
King of prosecutors.
Not that again.
What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor.
Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother.
The day of the SL9 incident took place. That wasn't the same day as...
That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal.
Oh, crap. Why are things repeating? Interesting.
It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. Can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered. The evidence locker was empty.
There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room.
What about Detective Goodman?
If they did something to him too, the commissioners will get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious.
They?
Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Benvina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Sky.
Gant and Sky?
Chief Detective Damon Gant and his second-in-command Lana Sky. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. Available on HBO. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers.
After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right?
Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left.
Oh.
Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective.
Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but our secret is too well guarded. I never found out.
Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. Uh-oh.
So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly enlightening.
There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy.
Oh?
He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina.
And then he ran
Away.
off to the sunset. Alright, we need to go to here? Yeah.
February 24, Police Department, Criminal Affairs.
This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted.
That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room.
Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us.
With the chief prosecutor saying that what she did and the decision about what to do, about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together.
I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
Just head across the hall to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right! You can't go in there! It's off limits!
Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Wow.
Ooh, we haven't been here! Let's go.
Hello.
Whoa!
February 24, Police Department, Chief's Office.
Whoa. Where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what I said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bop. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes.
Ah!
I never could remember where C was.
Oh.
Oh, it's you two!
Chief Gant! Put that paper he was reading in his desk.
So, Mr. Wright, have you been swimming lately?
No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
This is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger. It's the freaking face that's behind! That's what it is! God, even I could have figured that shit.
I mean, it's not just that, but yeah, that is true. Anyway, I don't like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that needs my attention. I'm going to lock up ears, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Got pools to swim.
Looks like we aren't welcomed.
It seems that case isn't over with yet, after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. And we will find out in the next episode.
Why do you have to break into sing?
'Cause I can. In the next episode, we'll find out a way to
break in there and be criminals ourselves. Yay. Because that's how the game works, right? We gotta be criminals if we want to get the criminal.
According to the law.
So this was Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney with me and Nightshade.
How about some swimming?
And with that, we are out of here. Not swimming.
Yes, get out of my office.
Bye.